After his death, the man was shocked to see that the girl he never respected, the one from his arranged marriage, was actually the one who came for him. But the white moonlight he loved all his life, in anger, smashed his urn of ashes with a hammer and said, "This man's family will always suffer punishment for his sin." And right after saying this, blood started coming from her mouth. That's why, in her final days, white moonlight cried with tears and prayed, "If there is another life, may I never meet you again." Hearing this, the man finally realized how much of a fool he had been all his life. Actually, years ago, white moonlight had saved the man's life, and from that moment he had fallen for her obsessively. That's why he used money and power to try to make her his. But in that girl's heart there was only hatred for him, because she believed her boyfriend had died because of him. That's why, for revenge, she deliberately put herself in danger, called some thugs, and then phoned the man asking for help. Worried, the man rushed without thinking, but trapped in white moonlight's schemes, he accidentally killed 3 of the thugs. The man thought that maybe now white moonlight would marry him, but the reality was the opposite. Right in front of him, she reported everything to the police, and even though she knew the full truth, she blamed him for murder. Seeing this, the man finally understood that white moonlight could never be his. She only wanted to see him dying. Hearing this, the man's heart broke so deeply that even though his brother worked tirelessly to save him, he accepted everything and embraced death. But after his death, he saw something that made him unable to stop his tears. The always strict and harsh father was crying for him, and his mother and elder brother were drowning in deep grief over his loss. Seeing this, he finally realized that because of a worthless woman, he had abandoned the family that loved him so much. But by then, everything was over. On his funeral day, he thought that maybe his death would bring some mercy in white moonlight's heart. But in her heart, there was only and only hatred for him. That's why, filled with grief and rage, the man swore, "If I ever get another chance, I will never ruin myself for white moonlight again." And as soon as he said this, maybe God heard him, because suddenly, the dead man came back to life and returned to the very day when he had broken his arranged marriage for white moonlight. So this time, in front of his father, he immediately admitted his mistake and promised that now he would never keep any relation with that girl. Hearing this, the whole family was shocked, because earlier, he was always madly in love with her. They thought this was just another trick of his, but the man swore that from now on, he would listen to his family. Hearing this, the elder brother became happy, but at that very moment, the assistant came and told him that on their instructions, he had brought white moonlight home. Hearing this, the man remembered that this was all the plan of his previous life, but the family thought that he was again trying to fool them. But this time, the man swore to set everything right. Meanwhile, white moonlight was making a scene again, thinking that the man would try to please her like before. But this time, the man showed a cold face, pulled out some money, and said, "From now on, our relationship is over." Hearing this, white moonlight couldn't believe it. That's why the man took out an agreement, in which it was clearly written that from now on, everything was finished from both sides. Seeing this, white moonlight thought this might be one of his tricks, but still, without hesitation, she signed it and left. That's why the man immediately went to meet the arranged marriage girl. But there too, white moonlight was present, with her boyfriend. The man deliberately walked up to them to talk. White moonlight again misunderstood, but he ignored her completely and went straight to the arranged marriage girl. Now, what happens next? To find out, like this